All right. Episode 0.5. Let's go. Welcome, everybody. Thank you for being here. Thank you for watching. This is episode 0.5 of About Last Week in the NBA. I'm your host, Jared, aka King Convict. You can call me Con. You know the drill. Today I got a regular guest, and also a new guest. So I'll have Chaco introduce yourself. Go ahead, Chaco.
What's up, everyone? I go by White Chocolate. Chocolate name's Brandon. Long-time follower of the NBA since it's been live. My team is the Lakers, so there's going to be hate on that, of course, because everyone's going to say bandwagon. Grew up liking them. My dad's from LA. Only team pushed on me, so it's not a bandwagon. Been with them since day one. Still with them even during these dark times. So we'll see the new direction with the new coach, though.
Respect. You gotta ride with your team no matter what, man. That's respect. And of course, I got my guest that's usual on the show now. You could say I got my boy Karma here. Karma, say what up to the people.
What up to the people?
As y'all know who Karma is. He doesn't need an introduction. But we're gonna get into the show pretty much. I did miss last week. I do apologize. It wasn't the best, easiest week to get on the show, so it just didn't happen. So we back, episode 0.5, and we got a lot to talk about. It's Saturday. I should say the date. It's Saturday, May 28th. So last night was Game 6 of Miami versus Boston series, and it's been a fun, random, up and down roller coaster of a series. And we'll just start with that. So anybody want to take it away, or I just start off with what I feel.
I'm all ears.
Yeah, you're the Heat fan. Let's hear it.
All right, since I am the Heat fan, that is a fact. I'll take it away. I pretty much knew this exactly was gonna happen. I don't want to be like, I know everything, because clearly, if you watched the last week's episode, I was severely wrong about the Western Conference. So I'm gonna be as confident as I can about the Eastern Conference, because when we get to the West, I'm gonna like hide my camera and let Karma take it away. But since we're talking about how right I was about this conference and about this series, yeah, I knew this was exactly what it was gonna be. It was gonna be a fight, a defense fight. It was gonna go 7 games. I knew it was gonna go 7 games. The first couple of games were really one-sided each way. Miami didn't win any quarters except for one quarter. Famously, that's the quote that it got around. I'm gonna quickly just go over a couple of the games, because like the main games I really want to talk about is 5 and 6. So yeah, the first couple of games, one-sided one way, one-sided the next way, both in Miami. Switch over to the Boston, pretty much the same thing, one-sided one way. And then game 4 was another discussion for later in the show, but it was one-sided one way, so Boston wins that. And then it gets back to Miami, game 5, which I do want to talk about. I got some notes. Miami lost that game 5, and it was kind of a game where it was kind of just a really embarrassing product on the court. And I have like a bigger point to make, but before I make that point, I wanted to ask my guest. Game 5 was the Boston blowout, where it really just looked like Miami just didn't want to, but they just couldn't give much. If you recall, the first quarter was 18-1 at one point. Literally, like Miami just did not have it. It just was not there, and the game was essentially over. So before I get to my broader point, Chaco, do you have anything to say about that game 5?
Oh, with game 5 specifically, the Heat just did not look ready at all. They're looking beat up going into this. We honestly don't even know who's going to be on the court at this point. I mean, Kyle Lowry did play, but did he really play? I think he was, 0 for 5?
He was 0 for. He was an 0 for. He was an Owen. I think he only had 1 rebound, literally, whole game.
He was Owen. Max Strus had no makes as well. I mean, no one was hitting shots. Jimmy Butler had one of his worst games, but
6 points.
At this point, they're putting all the pressure on Jimmy to create an entire offense, and that team just doesn't have enough firepower at this moment, especially with no Tyler Hero. You're missing 6th man of the year. It's just there was no oomph in their team. They just didn't show anything. They were missing wide open shots, and they just kept getting down and down and down. They're playing almost everyone on their bench, seeing who can give them minutes at this point, who can make a shot. It was just a little too late. So at Game 5, I mean, honestly, I thought this was going to be a wrap in Game 6 too. We'll get to Game 6, of course, soon. But this team just looked banged up. They're not making shots. They look down on each other, and it's just too much pressure on Jimmy and Jimmy's knee. We don't honestly know because it's been affecting them, and you could tell in that game too.
Yeah. Carmen, any thoughts on Game 5?
That
you can say no, it's fine, you know.
Oh, all right. Wow, damn.
No, I'm just saying. I'm not forcing you, but yeah, no. Anything you want to say about Game 5?
I do.
Go ahead.
It gave me a false perception of what should have happened in Game 6. I'll tell you that for sure. Because after those 2 games,
yeah,
I thought they would have, they had the home court advantage going into Game 6. So I thought that the way they played in Game 5, they continually locked Jimmy Butler down. I was 3 games straight. He could not just get on the board and do fantastic. I know in the game, was it Game 2? Game 3, he was hurt and had to leave.
Yeah. Game 3, he didn't play at all. Second quarter. Second half.
Yeah. So I know that was also a factor, and they pulled him out early in Game 4 because it was a blowout, but their entire starting lineup wasn't even scoring, and it's just like I felt like after they'd done that for those games, I felt like they should have just had an easier time than they did. In Game 6, but
so
Game 5 should have.
My thoughts on Game 5. Like I said, the product on the court was just really, really, really bad, man, and my broader point is the scheduling of the playoffs is definitely bad. Like it needs to change sooner than later. Of course, it can't change now because it's set in stone, and the TV deals and the arena sell the ticket, all that stuff is already in place. So literally, in this season, it cannot change. But the next season going forward, it has to change. I think it's crazy that they have to get on a plane. I think me and Chaco talked about this, and just fly I think it was Chaco on Twitter. We talked about it, and just fly back and forth, and no rest time, no day in between. They're coming up with game plans on the flight to the arena. It's just usual seasons they wouldn't have this congested schedule, and Mark Cuban brought it up that they're doing this because of the play-in tournament, and I think that's true. Like the play-in tournament definitely congested it and made them move the schedule in a little more tighter. But I just think as Adam Silver, how do you allow that to happen? Like this season is scheduled before the season starts, and you see that the Eastern Conference Finals are 1 game, 1 day off, 1 game, 1 day off, 1 game, 1 day off. Like I don't remember the last time the Boston Celtics had 2 days off. They literally went from a Game 7 in Boston, because that whole series they actually had 1 day off. I do remember there was a day off. They had a day off on the Milwaukee Boston series, and it was so random. They didn't play on a Tuesday, and they came back and played on a Thursday. And then ever since that Thursday, Boston has been playing every other day. And it's now there's a second Game 7 that they're playing in, and no days off. That's just the product that we're going to get tomorrow. I can already say that it's probably not going to be the best, because people are hurt, man, and you just have an extra day can do wonders for these men. Like I know it's not going to be 100%, but it'll give them another 20%, and that 20% will give us just a better product, and the game won't be over by the first quarter. And that's what I think was Game 5. Game 5 was Miami was clearly just tired and out of it, man. They've flown from place to place. They tried to get their best. Clearly, it wasn't there. Boston was just like on their ass from step one, and I'm not taking it away from Boston. Like Boston did what they had to do, because they knew if they lost Game 5, it probably would have been over in 6. But they did what they had to do. Miami was shut down completely, and I honestly think Miami kind of wanted a blowout just so they could rest another whole half, because it's like they really didn't try after the first quarter. It was pretty much, all right, we're full. Butler, Jimmy, and Kyle didn't play at all in the fourth. They played like a spread out minutes in the third, but it really wasn't nothing. no effort was given in any of the plays. Like they were like jogging up the floor. Like it wasn't a game for Miami, and I just think that was just big part of scheduling. And that's pretty much what I had to say. That was my big point. Sorry, that was kind of long.
You know what's interesting, just
What's
to
up?
kind of go off of this, because we did talk about this. It was just not too long ago. I mean, right before play-in, I guess you could say, but then also the bubble, but that was also a weird season, that you play back-to-back, essentially, play one night off, play another night because you're in the same city.
Yeah,
Then
you're
you
not
have a travel
traveling.
day, then
You're
go.
literally not traveling. There's no travel. You're literally staying in a convention center. So like,
It's kind of weird because like I could see Mark Cuban's point. Like, yeah, the playing game might have the problems with that because they're trying to get in a certain time frame.
right?
But there's also been a huge movement over the past like 5 or 6 seasons from the players wanting a longer schedule too. They don't want these back-to-back
Right,
games. They want more
exactly.
spread out games. But if you're still trying to condense the season to fit this time frame, I mean, even All-Star break is longer than it used to be at some points. It's kind of weird just because, okay, you're getting a longer season in terms of spread out games, but then we have to make the time somewhere. And then now with this play-in, which they want to encourage more teams not to tank, because this is all about tanking
Yeah,
with the play-in.
literally. Yeah, more
They
competition.
don't want that. So it's just like you're going to have the give and take. So it's just like, okay, the NBA is like, okay, if you want all these stipulations, we have contracts that's giving us the money, that's going to give you the money with all these TV deals that we have to do because there's all these other things that the TV stations have to do. So it's kind of like a back and forth. It's just like you're getting some give in the regular season, but then in the playoffs you're not getting it. But the playoffs is when you need everyone.
That's when you want it. Like
need
that's
help.
when the players are playing at their best. And I just don't see why you wouldn't want the best product out there on that court. Like with energy, you know what I mean? Like it's crazy. Like I don't know. The regular season is great. It's fun, but it's just like it doesn't compare to the playoffs, man. And this season definitely like it shows, man. Like it shows that like the playoffs is almost like it's a different sport.
Yeah.
Just the intensity, just the way the players play. It's all different in the playoffs, man. Because it's like it matters now. Everybody's like, oh, this dribble matters, this shot matters, my stats, everything literally is going to matter now. And like you just don't get that in the regular season. You just don't.
I think it's just a final point for this too. I think you might start seeing, because this is brand new, like with the play-in, it's 2 years old. It's
Right.
a new type of NBA schedule that they're seeing now.
That too. Yeah.
You're going to see a lot of people taking the Kawhi approach when he was with Toronto. He could have played more. They were just wait till playoffs. Wait till the playoffs. He didn't play as many games. You're going to see him resting their star players. You're going to need a deeper bench. They have these two-way contracts now. You're up to 15 players on a roster. You're going to be seeing that type of mentality moving forward, especially with your star players and everything. But then you're going to start looking at, and this is another topic. The problem with that is the regular season matters to a degree because it affects players' pockets in terms of awards, where you're seeing
that's true.
if people don't get
Good point.
all NBA or certain things, they're losing out on 30 to 40 million on these contracts.
Millions.
So just
like life-changing money, millions.
Yeah, you're in a
I
weird
think that's
scenario.
another conversation for another day. Like honestly, we should definitely pin that and have that on. I'm gonna write that down. What is that contract? Money negotiations. Yeah, we'll talk about that. That's a good topic, honestly.
Yeah, it's just you got to give and take, and it's going to be what do you matter more, because everyone needs money in their pockets because they're trying to make generational wealth for time to come. But then you also get players like, look at Klay Thompson. This man's lost millions, and this is jumping to Warriors. This dude's lost millions in the NBA, but he still just wants to win championships. He's okay as long as he's winning.
I love that.
Which is insane. You don't see that anymore.
You don't. But yeah, that was a good point. That's a good point. So yeah, that was game 5. Got a little off in a tangent, but yeah, that was just a lot. I like that talk. That was a good conversation. But yeah, so now last night, game 6, which let's just talk about it. I think that was the best conference game on both sides, West and East. Don't want to talk about the refs too much, but just as the players were playing, just like it was just such a great back and forth game. I just think that game was really actually just a fun to watch game. I'm gonna watch it again probably later, but I thought that game was pretty entertaining to watch. What do you guys think, just as an entertainment standpoint? You guys watch it?
That was probably the most fun game of the series.
Yeah,
in a while. Like
I agree.
Every other one was just a blowout, 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 and this wasn't like super close the entire time. Like there are some like, you know, moments where I thought the Heat had just taken it away.
Right,
But
right.
same time, it felt competitive, more competitive so than any other in the series beforehand. Before like maybe what game?
Definitely more competitive. I think one because like everybody played except for like I think Tyler Hero was the only like star that didn't really play. But yeah, I think it was just a good game. Not really much to discuss other than what y'all think about Jimmy Butler. He's superstar? Yes or no? Yes or no? Jimmy Butler, superstar.
Yes.
100%.
We got a yes from Matt. Welcome, Matt. By the way,
Hello.
thanks for joining us. So we got a yes from Matt. What about you, Choco? I didn't hear what you said. I'm sorry.
100%. Guys,
100%.
two-way star. Two-way star, you don't get that as much anymore because when we say superstars, you focus too much on the offensive side. This guy's doing it both ends, night in, night out.
I'm just at a fax machine right now. Palmer, what you talking about, man? What you want? Jimmy Butler, superstar, yes or no? It's okay to be the contrarian. It's okay to be the contrarian.
I'm gonna say he's had some pretty bad games this series, but he's also got 2 40-point games this series. So
it's just in this series, by the way.
Just in this series, not including the entire playoffs. Just in this series against the #1 defense in the league.
Against this defense,
they are targeting him in those games where he's not doing great, and the second they let up on him, 40-point.
I just want to remind the general viewers and anybody, this defense swept the best duo in NBA history. Okay, that's what this defense did. That Jimmy Butler has dropped 40 2 times on. That's all I want to say. Just a quick little point. Matt, thanks for joining us, man.
Great to be here, man.
I'm glad you said that. Any thoughts about Game 6 last night? Just quick, was it enjoying? Did you enjoy your night? Did you watch the game?
Yes, I watched the game full on.
Nice.
Derek White was a huge part. He was like the role player that had to step up, kind of thing. Grant
Williams
wasn't doing a goddamn thing.
Go ahead.
But bullying people. He getting hit around, yelling at refs, and wanted to choke him out.
But other than that, you thought it was fun though. I'm glad you enjoyed it, man. I mean, I think that was a good game for honestly both fans because it went down to like I guess you could say the wire technically. It went down to free throws, which we haven't seen in this series yet. So that's fun to watch.
You got someone on both teams getting fouled out too because like they were just playing like intense. The refs were calling goddamn everything in my opinion. Yeah, the refs weren't on one person's side, which is kind of like I guess you could say they were fair. Like they were terrible on both ends, like missing obvious calls, making terrible calls, both sides of the field. I mean, of the court. It's almost just like they were neutrally terrible. So like you really can't blame the refs. Which this is why I say it was a good game. I'm sorry for that.
No, go ahead.
I'm sorry. Yeah, I hope that Game 7. I hope they let him play a little bit more. I hope the intensity is still there. I hope the refs just kind of let people get bullied around a little bit more.
I think honestly, I think games
come up the chance.
I think Game 7s are refed different than any other game in like the game of basketball. I don't know how y'all feel about that, but I think they usually do let them play. Like you're not gonna get no ticky tack. You went to the ground. I'm gonna call a foul play now. Like it's usually like, oh, you have to really get smacked in the face to get called. That's my experience from Game 7s. I don't know about you guys. What do you guys think it could happen? I mean, we're skipping forward. My bad. Game 6. I mean, yeah. I mean, pretty much just Jimmy Butler was a superstar. That's pretty much what the end of that game was. I mean, there's really nothing really to talk about, unless you guys really want to say something. Chaco, anything to talk about Game 6?
I just appreciate people making free throws, honestly, because both teams did not miss, it felt like, to a degree. And with the way the game was being called, you had to make free throws. I mean, just looking at it, Heat shot 24-25, Celtics shot 28-31. That's insane on both teams. Just everyone is making free throws.
Yeah, you bring up the free throw point, man. They missed 2 crucial free throws from JB. Jaylen Brown.
Yeah,
That's gonna haunt the Celtics
final,
for the longest time. They were tied, and he missed 2 free throws that should have put them up 2. And no, they misses both, and Kyle Lowry comes down and makes an and one. So it's just like, yeah, those free throws are gonna haunt the Celtics.
It's crazy that that's when they started missing free throws at the very end of the game. But I mean, he's tired. Even still, you gotta dig deep at a certain crucial point. You just have to hit your free throws. You can't let anything else. You can't let fatigue, nothing. You gotta hit your freaking free throws at that point.
Blow by you on defense.
I was gonna say, Carmen, any thoughts on Game 6?
Just going off of that Brown thing, he was like, I guess he's gassed, he's tired, you know, it's been a tough series, but like he kind of like, not only was he not making those shots, he wasn't just doing a lot at that very end, those last couple of minutes there, you know, like I feel like they kind of just, he was just a cone out there for a little bit there. He had a great game up until that point, but I mean, you see how the score ended, like.
Yeah, I think honestly, my take from that game is just Jimmy Butler really just shows that he is special, and that he can take over a game if you honestly just allow him to. Like the defense for the Celtics, they didn't really trap him. I think they should have. He had 14 points in the first quarter, and I don't feel like the defense adjusted to anything from him. It was just, I get the switch with Derek White. All right, I'm gonna attack, and it's like, I switch, all right, I'm attack. I switch, all right, I'm attack. It's just, that's all it was. And like maybe Ime was just hoping like we stop eventually, because like sometimes, you know, he had 2 terrible games where like Miami only scored like 80 points. So like, yeah, maybe he was just hoping it would stop. And like for a second, it was looking like it was, you know, it was a tie game. So like Ime was, you know, just going with it, but it was just too many like mid-range jumpers in the end where Jimmy Butler was just going one-on-one. It was just like, all right, he can make these shots. Why don't you try to like get the ball out his hand? And they didn't, and Jimmy Butler beat them. That's literally what happened. I don't know what else to say. Anything else?
I don't know what time it was in the game, but I think it was somewhere late in the third quarter where he had there was defense on him. He was singled up on the wing, and he got stripped with 1 second left, and ball goes out of bounds, whatever.
Yeah.
Inball it back, fade away, hit that thing. Bottoms, right?
Yeah.
That should be an indicator. Hey, we gotta do something.
I think that shot actually comes up on this highlight that I'm watching. Yeah, this is a shot right here. 2 seconds left. Just jacks it up, and it's just like
it's a practice shot.
And the defense on him is good, but it's just like, I'm Jimmy Butler. I'm not losing this game. I'm gonna make this shot, and you guys should have tried to stop me half hour ago. It's too late now. I'm in the zone.
In his head, he's just like, I'm taller. I'm making this ball's going no matter what.
Yeah, he got to that zone that rarely people get to, and it's just like Jason Tatum can do that. We've seen him do it, which is why Game 7 is gonna be really interesting. We've seen him do it against Milwaukee. He had 46. It's possible. But let's talk about Game 7. Let's go. Anything you want to say, Carmen? What do you say?
Oh, I was going to say, the only important thing we have to remember from this game is that they need to find Kyle Lowry for that interview.
Say what? Say one more time?
You didn't see the interview? Kyle Lowry?
After the game or what? No, I didn't.
Oh, he was talking about Jimmy's performance. And like, man, did you
wait, yeah.
Like, no, he had a fucking amazing game. Like,
I love their duo, man. He's like, yo, find him. Find him.
They find me for that all the time. Find him too.
Yeah, I love their duo, man. They're cool. They were friends before they got on the same team, so that was just like, it was perfect. But yeah, so Game 6, interesting, and now we have the blessing of a Game 7 of an Eastern Conference Finals to see who is going to go and face the Warriors.
I swear, if we get Mavs Suns Part 2, I'm gonna be so pissed.
Mavs Suns Part 2. What you mean? Oh, about an insane blowout.
So boring.
I'm not gonna lie, man. It could be that, and I'm hoping it's not. But I mean, so who wants to take the take first on Game 7? I don't want to do it. Somebody take it away. All right, go ahead, Carmen. What you got? Game 7. What's your takes?
I think the Celtics are gonna take it.
Ooh, let's go. Ooh. Game 7 in Miami. Go ahead. Take it away.
It's not like I don't think that the Heat have a serious shot here. This isn't like the Warriors-Mavs series where I said that there is no shot one team would win. I think that both teams have a fair shot of winning this because they've proven it. But
facts.
This doesn't feel like a home game series.
Nah.
There's so many wins on the road. I'm gonna I'm gonna steal Matt's thing here. The Celtics are 5-0 after a loss.
Yes, they are.
I don't know why you gotta lose to win, but I mean, hey, if that's how you're gonna do it, it's the perfect
I don't know
situation
either.
for you.
Nah, but that's a good point. Is the home both teams have lost at home like under like blowouts. You know what I mean? So it's just like, you know, home court advantage. What does that mean? Game 5 meant nothing for Miami, literally. So
I think the key player for this game is Jimmy Butler. Is if he has another night like he has or like he had last night, it's Pete game. They need to figure out that. They need to figure out how to deal with him. Otherwise, they're done.
All right, I like it. Who's next?
I got the Celtics winning it.
Shocking.
It's been one of those series where it's just like the home team. I don't feel confident in it. I don't know the status of Tyler Hero. I mean, apparently he was. I saw one report. The only report I really saw was he was trying to play, but the coaching staff said no.
Really?
So,
I didn't see that, but that's interesting.
It was just like one thing. I don't know how legit.
Yeah, I believe it though.
It's just like, is he going to be there? Because I think with the Celtics going back to like Game 6, yeah, you could try doing stuff on Jimmy Butler. When players are in that mode, I mean, time and time again, go look at Kobe versus some of those Suns series. They had some of the greatest defense you will ever see on a player, and he just hits nonsense shots, you know?
It doesn't matter.
Go to the Warriors Clippers a few years ago, and Lou Williams is after the game saying, "We tried guarding him. We tried. You can't stop him." Like, when players get in that mode, there's nothing you can do. Yet the Celtics still could have won that game. Like, it took 47 from Jimmy Butler, something insane, just to barely win still.
Yeah.
I just don't see it. I mean, they're going to need players to step up. I think Jimmy's going to have to go crazy, and they're going to have players step up again. PJ Tucker had a double-digit scoring game. You're going to need something like that again. I just don't see it. I think Celtics, stick to your game plan. You're great defending. Keep switching. And if Jimmy's going to go off, just try and make sure you're neutralizing the other people.
I like it. I like it.
I don't
even want to ask Matt. It's like, nah. We gonna get to Matt. I'm gonna go. I mean, I'm gonna just say what I say. If from game 1, Miami in 7, I gotta ride with Miami in 7. Still, I still see them winning this game 7. Game 6. All right. So going into game 6, all day Friday, I'm gonna be honestly truthful here. I was not worried. It's weird to say that because we scored 80 points and then 82 points, and like Kyle Lowry was looking like he was done. Something in my soul was just, I'm not worried, man. It's just, I feel like Miami just can do it. I feel it, and that's just what I got no takes for real. I could just feel in my bones, man. That's all I got. I gotta hope Oladipo comes through, because I don't think Hero's playing. He walked, I could just tell by my eyes, man. The way he walked off the bus, the step wasn't even like 2 inches from the curb, and the guy walked off so gently and gingerly. It's just like, he's not playing. He is way too hurt. So if he does play, that would literally like shock me. I don't see him putting any minutes, any actual like anything. So I don't see it. I just literally see Oladipo showing up. Max Strus, he's at home, man. You got to just hope the home court advantage, your role players play at home. That's usually what it is. Yeah, this series hasn't been that, but you just got to go with history. History shows me that role players play better at home, and that's what I got to roll on. Got to go with Eric Spoelstra. Got to talk about Spo. He's also the guy. And I got to roll with the Heat. That's all I got. Heat in 7.
I like it.
Matt, what you got?
Obviously, I'm going Celtics. I got
Celtics fan here. Get that?
We got Jaylen Brown, who needs a nap, and then he'd probably be all right.
I'm sure he slept by now. Probably slept like a rock right after that game.
I mean, you got the whole Celtics team going back-to-back 7 games. It's got to be tough on the body. I can't imagine.
That's one thing, man. I think that's one thing I'm banking on too. Is just how injured are the Celtics. I forgot to mention. I never remember that dude's name. the dude with the dreads that puts fear in Bam's heart. I know what I'm talking about.
Robert Williams.
Robert Williams, the third, right? That's him.
Yes.
Yeah.
Give him the third.
That guy, he went out in the fourth and didn't return. I don't know if you guys realize that. He went to the locker room injured and didn't come back. If he can't play, that's big.
That is
big. Were y'all aware of that before y'all made y'all takes?
Certain thing though, he was actually checking back into the game.
You're right.
I think it was like 5 minutes left in the game.
And they set
he
him
was
back
about to
down.
check back in, and then Horford hits a 3.
Yeah.
And they're like, all right, actually go sit down. We're going to keep running with Horford. So,
But
yeah,
I
might need you
Horford
next
didn't
game.
hit that. Yeah. Horford doesn't hit that 3. Robert Williams was coming back in, so
yeah.
I
Okay,
think
that's
the
a good
knee
point.
is still bothering him, but he was going to come back in.
So you got his knee, you got Marcus Smart's ankle, which it's definitely hurting him. Like Marcus Smart is not himself from that game 6. And you got Jason Tatum's shoulder. I didn't see him playing around with his shoulder game 6, so he could have gotten over that, but you know, that's still something to think about. He could re-tingle that, you know what I'm saying? A little tingle. But yeah, it's just like how injured are the Celtics as well as the Heat, you know what I mean? And I just think Heat got players that aren't as hurt as the Celtics, because Celtics went through Giannis, and Giannis did some damage to the Celtics, I still think.
That is true.
Grant Williams is still not recovered from the Giannis attacks. Like,
you see the bruises he got everywhere?
I feel like I see new bruises on Grant Williams like almost every day I see him play. He's got like a new bruise somewhere. But he plays hard, so I'm not mad at it. He plays hard. I like his game, honestly. He could be a Heat player one day. I'm not even mad at it. He got that Heat culture in him, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so that's my takes. I really don't have any takes. It's just
I'll give you
it's
one
up in the
thing
air.
for the Heat.
What's up?
So this is my pro Heat, why I think they could win. I still have Celtics, but I think the Heat's going. I think you kind of hit on it. It's Spoelstra, Jimmy Butler. They were just here a few years ago. The core of this team, Kyle Lowry wasn't part of that team, but he was there the year prior, and he's already won it too. So in terms of this team,
Got the people
PJ
who've
Tucker
been
was
there,
there
done
last year, won it.
Right.
They have players who have made the finals, who know what it takes to get there compared to the Celtics. Celtics are a young team. They haven't been there yet.
Maybe they
never
thought
made it all the way.
Oh,
So
you see that stat? 140
that
playoff
was
games, no
insane.
finals.
Most
So-
teams without finals, yeah.
But
I
yeah,
mean,
yeah, I like your
experienced
points.
first-year coach versus top 10 arguable coach of all time. I think he is top 10, but it's always up for debate.
Yeah,
It's-
I think some of that comes into play.
Experience is going to be a factor, and you're at home, so that is going for you. I still have Celtics, but Heat have a lot going for them in this Game 7, so I want a good Game 7.
Yeah, I think momentum also plays a big part. It's just, you know, like you feel like, you know, we just blew out Miami in Miami. We're coming home to go to the finals. We already know who we're facing. We're already ready, mindset, and then it's just they lost focus, and then boom, Miami just like won, and then like, oh, we're still in this series. We like, you know, and I just think they're not like, as a young team, they're not like prepared correctly, like Miami would be if they were up 3-2. You know what I mean? This is like we're not focused on the Warriors yet. We still have to go to Boston and win in Boston. I think Boston was like, we blew them out. We're coming home. They scored 82 games in a row. The media is all, you know the media was doing. It's just like, I feel like, you know, they just weren't as focused, and it's just kind of like it's gonna work in Miami's favor in Game 7. That's how I feel.
That's good to say, honestly.
That's how I feel. But you know, maybe Boston comes out, doesn't miss threes, and then it blows them. You know what I mean? It literally, you don't know what could happen in this Game 7, man. And it's kind of like the Mavs Suns Game 7, but it's just like you don't know what could happen. I don't think it's gonna be like that, but I don't know. What are you gonna say, Matt?
Karma said it earlier. They're both proven to like do really well. They both can hit threes. They both can do anything they want to. Kind of
play
They both walked on each
excessive
other.
defense like crazy, randomly. Like
Yeah. They both have great defense. They both have great offense. They both proved it very well. It's just, I don't know. It depends on when they apply certain things, I guess.
yeah, it really just depends, man. Like who wakes up and feels like I'm the guy today. That's really what it is.
Exactly.
I like Karma saying Jimmy's the X factor though. That's really all it is. Did Jimmy want to go to the finals? He'll go to the finals. If not, then GG. Like,
definitely agree.
Yeah, Karma's done, right? I think Karma's got to go, which sucks.
A little bit longer.
I bet. Let's hear your thoughts, man. Shit on me for a little bit, bro. I was completely wrong. Chat. I could not have been more wrong about the Dallas Golden State series. All right, I'm gonna admit it. I had Dallas in 6. I never changed, even though they were down 2-0. I still said Dallas in 6. I'm stupid. It's like, no. I believed in this young man, Luka Doncic, man. Can you blame me? That man is a generational talent, okay? I believed in him. He's young, so, you know, I should have known better. Karma, take it away. What did you feel about the series as a whole, man? Did you find it fun to watch? Did you say, I told you so? What is it?
All right. As a whole, it was a pretty fun series. It might have helped that my team won. But I actually want to start with the Mavericks first, just because I don't think Luka was the problem with that series, because he had games where he would be ball dominant and the other team wouldn't play, like his other teammates wouldn't play well. But what was it, game 3? He kept passing the ball out, kicking it out to them, and they were just breaking 3 after 3 after 3. Bertans didn't shoot a 2 until like game 2, in the entire playoffs until like game 2 of this series. Like, their shot selection was so bad. They kept going to the 3 ball and it kept failing. They'd have the one game they won, and then in game 2 before the halfway point when they were like killing them by like 20. At both points in that time, they were doing great in 3s, and then they fell apart over and over again. Like, you gotta pick a different shot. I know they couldn't challenge the paint because the Warriors, for some reason, the Warriors were won with the paint, not the 3-point shot. They wanted the paint. They had so many points in the paint, which is insane for a team that specializes in getting that deep shot out. It's like, they're small too. It's so weird. I don't understand where the Mavericks didn't get the memo to just guard the paint. They're tall, like, but that happened, and it really shows how dangerous this team is. Because I mean, Curry had some fantastic games in there. He didn't have like the generational Steph games, but he had some solid games in there. And yet, when it came to the closeout game, he didn't have to do anything. Draymond had a better stat line than him. Like, I want to say this real quick. Draymond had more points, the same amount of assists, more rebounds. Like, he played better than Steph in that last game, and it didn't matter because Klay Thompson decided he wanted to be games 5 Klay instead of game 6 Klay. Like,
so you think Stephen Curry deserved Western Conference Finals MVP?
Oh, absolutely. There's no doubt in my mind that they don't do that without him. Steph Gravity, but I don't think it was as like, you know, easy of a decision as you could make, because Kevon motherfucking Looney. Oh my god. Oh my god. Everyone is finally seeing how awesome that man is.
Man? Like, what happened? Huh? What happened to him? Was he like this all year? I don't.
No, it's not. So he was playing like this with them with the 2017, 2018 teams. He got injured in that 2019 series. He had like a serious like rib fracture. Ooh. So 2022 he didn't play a lot, and 2021 he was still 2020 he didn't play a lot. 2021 he was, you know, still working his way back in there. He wasn't getting as many minutes. They were trying a whole different rotational piece. Like, they had Bazemore in there a lot more. But this year, it's just Bielitsa is great. I'm not gonna say that he's terrible, but he's not Kevon Looney. So they've had him fleshed in there more. He's working a lot more with Draymond, and it shows. In 18 rebounds in that last game. He gets so many rebounds.
He had 20. He didn't have 20 rebounds the other day.
Like 20 rebounds,
and like 18 offensive rebounds or something. Like, it's like, insane.
He's not being ball dominant. He's just getting the ball and getting it to his teammates.
And honestly, I don't feel like he's that tall. Like,
no, he's 6'8", 6'9".
Yeah, he doesn't look. He doesn't tower. He doesn't tower over anybody.
Yeah. He's not tall, but
so you could just say it's hard work.
He's aggressive and he gets to the ball, and that's what he's gonna do. He said, "All right, we're not winning with rebounds. I'm gonna be the guy that gets the rebounds." Like,
yeah.
Oh my god, and that's not even mentioning like everybody else on that team, like Jordan Poole. You know, he just does what he wants to do. He gets his points in there. You know, he has some decent games, 14, 16 points in there. Wiggins, you know, the guy you refuse to talk about.
We're gonna talk about him. I kind of have no choice. I have no choice now. He's forcing himself into the talks, man. But good points. Yeah. Anybody else want to take it, or should I just?
I got you. So I know Karma, Warriors fan, might just be overselling, because there's a fanfare, but 100% agree that Kevon Looney not spoken about enough, and it was early on in the playoffs that they switched. Kevon Looney started all 82 games, was there all season, always just a staple of the team, but they took him out of the starting lineup, and they fell in love with this depth lineup of Green, Wiggins, Jordan Poole, Klay Thompson, Curry. Great lineup though. Could be great defensively. They do get a little body just because they're a little tiny sometimes. Yeah, a potential for that. It was in the Memphis series though. You saw a switch, and this is also when Mike Brown took over as coach too. But Memphis put Steven Adams back in because they were losing the rebounding battle. They were playing their version of small lineup. And surprisingly, Memphis was losing a rebounding battle, which they hadn't done all season. They usually win rebounding battles. They put Steven Adams back in. They win a rebounding battle. They get the next game, forced game 6 it was. They put Kevon Looney back in the starting lineup. And I don't know how true this was, but I guess it was kind of requested. But Mike Brown also made that decision because he was part of the coach. Steve Kerr had some help because they're talking. Puts Kevon Looney back in. Gets tons of rebounds. They win the rebounding battle again. They beat the Grizzlies. Kevon Looney also, when you watch him, the way the Warriors are playing is because NBA at the current moment is playoffs are find your mismatch. Mavs Suns series, greatest example. Find your mismatch. That's what Chris Paul was so great at, but he couldn't do it in the Mavs series because Mavs had great defenders for it. Luka exploited it because they have Mikal Bridges on him, great defender. You get Mikal off of him, they don't have the help wing defender. So if you watch the Warriors, people are trying to target Steph Curry. What did the Warriors do? You blitz Steph Curry. Luka has to then split the team, split Wiggins and Luka to either do a contested 3 potential or drive in. Who's in the middle? Kevon Looney. Who's on the wings that can recover? Klay Thompson, Draymond Green. They can slide in to help, and they can recover great. They had the perfect team to beat the Mavericks.
Their defense at one point was just like, it was like just in every passing lane, they couldn't pass the ball. They couldn't get into their offense. It was just like, it was looking scary, like the old Warriors defense. You know what I mean? When they had KD and they could just like really stretch like their arms across the whole freaking court. And it's just like,
or when they had Andre Iguodala, who
that's what I'm saying. Yeah, like just long wings on their arms. Just like you're not passing the ball, so like good luck.
It's crazy to me that they didn't skip a beat defensively this series without Gary Payton in here. Like
that part too.
GP is that
you almost
dude.
didn't realize he was even missing. Like,
right? And then one more thing real quick.
It would have been nasty if he was there.
Most of those bigs you see in these games, in these series, they don't move a lot. They just they get in the paint. They they dominate the paint. They'll move for a screen or two. Kevon Looney moves so much. He's like Curry walking around. He's always moving around.
Like I said, he's not that big. You know what I mean?
He's not that big. It's like he's
like
using
6'9", 6. He's an active big, and that's what they need. That's what Warriors needed, and they got it. And they probably won't go back to who they got. Wiseman. They probably won't see him much.
Wiseman has a lot of potential though, and
that's the part.
He could be just as active as Looney, I would imagine, and he's lengthier at 7 feet with longer arms. So, and he can actually stretch the floor. That dude could actually step out and hit a 3.
He just needs to become a decent player, honestly, because if they have him and Looney out there, they're fine. The summer league's gonna be huge to see what he can do.
I got nothing to say about this series, man. I was just wrong. Just wrong at every turn. The Warriors, just their dynasty is more than stamped at this point now. You could say it was stamped before, but now it's just like it doesn't matter. This 3 and is just they're a winning 3, and this just proved it beyond anything because Luka is a winner. Like this year proved that Luka is more than just a points stat guy. You know what I mean? Like he is a winner and he will win one day. But this just also showed how just this Warriors team is a dynasty and is here to probably stay for a couple more years, man. Because like they're not old, even though people say like they're old now. They know they're not the young team no more. But like they're still not the old team. Like the Lakers are an old team. Like I don't see them as old. Like Stephen Curry is 32, 33.
34 he is, 34? And I think Yeah, I think Draymond and Clay are 32, 33.
Yeah, they're younger, so it's just like, yeah, they're gonna be around for a definitely 2 more years, like a definite 2 more years. So it's just like, yeah, it's just a dynasty that I underestimated. I didn't know that. I didn't know they were here. I didn't know they were back.
Yeah, man, you didn't even have either of these teams in your Western or
my
your
Western
Finals in your bracket.
Yeah. I mean, the Western Conference is weird, man. Like this team could have easily still been this if it wasn't for some injuries. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Like this team would not have slowed down if it wasn't for injuries. That's pretty obvious what this year is.
I think the Suns would have been a better matchup for the Warriors. Just
entertainment wise, that would have been because you have more options. At least gone
6 or 7 then.
Yeah, because you have more options.
Actually, was a force against them.
The Warriors you can't beat the Warriors with one guy, and like I thought you could. I thought Luka was that guy that could do it, and nah, you need more, man, because like Warriors tire you out. They move the ball all everywhere, and like Karma made a great point. They're not just 3-point threat team. Like they'll take you into the paint, and it's just like, what the fuck do I do now? Like I defend the 3, but they're scoring in the paint. Like I defend the paint, and then they're just gonna rain threes. So it's just
tie a rope to their waist, follow them around, make sure they don't ever leave you. So because wherever they're going, they're scoring.
Yeah, like this is gonna tie into the point of like the finals where it's just like I don't know what team can beat this Warriors team. That series pretty much answered more than enough questions for me. So I don't want to get too much into it, but Matt, do you want to say anything about the Mavs Golden State series before we move on?
Not too much. I think Karma has a fucking great reason to be excited, because I do agree that Warriors win it all no matter what, honestly. Celtics or Heat can go face them. I think Warriors win it all.
Let's talk about it. I mean, you already say Celtics beating the Heat, so you got Celtics Warriors Thursday. Who's winning that series and why?
I think Celtics put up a fight, but god damn, the Warriors this year.
Yeah,
like they got it.
I think it's you think it's their year?
Yeah, it seems like it. They just got it.
Karma, you take it away, man. You got Celtics Warriors on Thursday. How many games and why?
So I want to say that I'm confident in the Celtics bringing this to like a 6 or 7 game series, and it's not like they don't have the talent to, but the way you were talking about earlier, the way that the Eastern Playoff Conference has been structured, they don't have breaks. There's so many injuries. Everybody over there is tired. Like the amount of time in between the Warriors have had. The Warriors the first playoff or the first series they started on the first day and ended up becoming like the second day series team. Like they've had so much time to just sit and relax and rest, especially after they just won right now.
They've been chilling. Like, they've been chilling.
It's not like the Celtics can't do it, or if the Heat make it, the Heat. But it's just everyone is so beat up over there, and the Warriors are gonna get somebody back. Like
yeah, it's tough. It's tough to even try to predict like anything else. You know what I mean?
I'm gonna give the same thing as I said for the last series. My bias says 5, but my analyst says 6.
I like it. Chaco, you got Celtics and Warriors Thursday. What you got?
I think Warriors season to win this year. See 5 or 7. They haven't been losing at home at all, so they're going to win it. I think in front of their home crowd. I could see a 5-game series. I do think the better the matchups will be the Celtics, just because the Celtics do have players you can switch. With what the Warriors do on offense, it is just constant motion, and you need a team that can just 1 through 5 constantly be switching to try and even defend them. But I do have Warriors. I think it's going to be 5. I think it's just their year. Just one of those special things. Clay said it earlier in this year. They are 15-2. Clay wasn't on the team. He's like, we're 15-2 and I'm not even back yet. Now he is.
That's a bar. 15-2 and you ain't got one of the greatest 3-point shooters in the world back yet. That's crazy. But I got Miami winning, and then Miami going against Warriors on Thursday. And I mean, it's pretty much the same thing you guys are saying. You know, what team is going to be there on Thursday? Is Hero going to be there? is Jimmy's knee gonna bother him? Is Kyle Lowry's hamstring gonna bother him? And they did show in this highlight, Curry did tweak his ankle, but that's a week and a half. Like, I think Curry's gonna be just fine. And like, you know, like Carmen just said, they're getting back a great perimeter defender, which is gonna give Miami, I know, just bad, you know, just a bad time. And Miami just has those stretches of offense just literally not scoring the ball. Like, whether they're tired or whether they're just like, sometimes Miami just can't get into their offense, and Warriors defense is not going to help, because they're not, of course, a better defense than the Celtics, but they play amazing defense. We just talked about it, and it's just they make points. You know what I mean? Like, they put up 120 no matter like really the night. You got to fight hard to not get the Warriors to 120. So it's gonna be a tough one, man. I don't want to say Warriors in 5 because I respect my Heat too much. I'm gonna say Warriors in 6 because I respect Jimmy Butler too much to say Warriors in 5. That's my take. It hurts me to say this, man, but I really just don't see a team beating this Warriors team. Like, I just don't. I don't. I'm a Heat fan. I don't see the Celtics winning. I don't see the Heat winning. Warriors in 6 no matter what. Easy peasy. What you say?
I like it. I like it.
You like it? Yeah. Pretty easy talk. That was good, man. Anything else you guys want to say about playoffs before we get into our random discussions? Because we got about like 10 minutes of the show. Should be fun. This should be fun. Anything else?
We're good on playoffs.
Oh, I didn't actually want to mention who's going to be the Eastern Conference MVP? Who y'all got?
Ooh.
Karma. Is Karma leave yet? Oh, Karma's out.
Oh.
Chaco, who's Eastern Conference MVP?
I think this one's a little easier than the Western. I think Heat win it. Jimmy Butler, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think if Celtics win it, you got to give it to Tatum.
What if Celtics win? Jimmy Butler drops 50. Who gets MVP?
I don't see them kind of doing that. I mean, that's really only once, and it was Jerry West who won an MVP on the losing team. Even LeBron's year.
I mean, let's say Jason Tatum puts up 12 points and they win. You know what I mean? Jimmy Butler drops 50 and they lose. You still giving Jason Tatum MVP?
I think you might start be looking at Jaylen Brown if he went off that game in a closeout
Honestly,
game.
you might have to. But yeah, I'm just curious, Matt. Who you got? Who you thinking? Eastern Conference MVP.
It really depends on the night that happens tomorrow, because I think you got like 2 or 3 players on the Celtics that could win it.
That's true.
I think Horford got a shot at it. I think Brown got a shot at it, and I think Tatum got a shot at it.
Whichever one scores the most, I think, on
I think
like
so too.
Either side. I honestly, I don't know. It doesn't matter on Heat. It doesn't matter. Like, Jimmy can score 6 and he's still gonna win MVP. Like, you know what I mean?
It's gonna happen. Yeah.
He's not gonna score 6.
It's gonna happen on the East side.
Yeah. But if Celtics win, Jason Tatum scores more, you give it to him. Jaylen Brown scores more, you give it to him. I think that's what it is, because they pretty much even. You know, Jason Tatum had some off games and were carried by Jaylen Brown, so I think it's the same both sides of the coin. That was just a good question to ask before we move on. So I just wanted to talk quickly. I'm going to go all the way back a couple years to 2020, the bubble year. I really wanted to hear Karma's talk about it, but I'll have to ask him next time. So just a genuine question. Do you guys put an asterisk next to that year of basketball? Chaco, you first. Do you put an asterisk? Do I mean, you know, do you take it seriously, or do you be like, they were in the bubble, so yeah?
I'm a Lakers fan. We won it that year, so I'm happy. I don't put an asterisk next to it. I don't kind of like that talk. It's like teams still had to get together. You still had to compete no matter what. I mean, they tried simulating as much as possible. Of course, not being in front of a home crowd, everything going on, they did the best that they could.
Right.
I still think, you know, a team did come out. You still have to go through your entire playoff runs. You're playing the same teams that you're going to have to go through to get there. I mean, they did their best, of course, like with no home crowd, no anything. It's a little different. They had a huge layoff for the season. So that helped a lot of teams. I think it helped the Lakers a lot to keep their bodies right.
Right.
I think there's a little more that goes into why the Lakers won it too. Part of the whole Kobe discussion with him passing, they had something to fight for. So I do count it though, no matter what it was an NBA season, it's still just because COVID happened and that technical off season happened.
Yeah.
You were still always of the mindset we could come back, so the players had to stay ready. So they were always still in that mindset. We might be coming back, and that just extended the length of the season. And I still count it. It's just a different discussing point that you had to go through.
Yeah. Okay, so you were saying there's no asterisk.
I don't think so. No.
Matt, you being I see. First of all, I just want to say I asked Chaco before I knew he was a Lakers fan. I'm not saying that changes everything. I didn't know. But Matt, you being a Celtics fan, Celtics lost in the Eastern Conference Finals that year. Do you put an asterisk next to that year, or do you say you're proud of your boys for making it to the finals, Eastern Conference Finals?
I don't put an asterisk next to it. I mean, they still had to earn it, right? They still had to go out and earn it every fucking night. They still had to play against the best players, right?
Mm-hmm.
Bubble or not, you still had to show up and win that thing. Not many people in the world can do it.
Right.
Like, especially against the 1% of like the 1% that make it to the NBA. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay, that's good. That's good to know. I was hoping somebody would have a contrarian, but you know, that's all good. I'm glad you guys also agree with me. And also I agree with Karma's. I'm gonna just say Karma's point because I know he wishes he could be here. But Karma also agrees that the bubble was legit. I'm not gonna really expand on it because it's a paragraph in the chat. But he agrees that the bubble was legit. And actually, I do agree with what he said. He did say something I agree with. Hold on, let me read it one more time. Yes, the same two teams ended up in the Eastern Conference Finals as they were in the bubble. That is the point that I was really trying to focus on. That a lot of the majority, you could pretty much just say the majority of the NBA put an asterisk next to that bubble year, and I think this year proves that you can now take that asterisk away. And I'm talking from a person that had an asterisk on that year. I'm gonna be honest with you. I am a Heat fan, and I had a little bit of an asterisk next to that year because they weren't, you know, in front of fans. You're not traveling. All of these things come into play during a normal playoff run. You didn't have that normal playoff run, so genuinely you would put a little asterisk, which I kind of sort of did. Now, this year, I am taking the asterisk away, and I kind of feel bad for even doing the asterisk because I would fight myself with the asterisk stuff because they were, like I said, they were on equal playing ground. They were all in the same conference arena. Everybody had the same schedule per se. Like, you knew when you were going to play, you knew everything, you knew when you could work out, you knew when you shoot around. Everybody had the same thing, so everybody was on equal playing field, which is the best you could do in those conditions. So that's one of my points that I wanted to like say, that I do agree with the asterisk, but I'm taking the asterisk away because the same teams that were in the finals in the bubble, and that should count for something. A lot of people were saying those playoffs didn't count because, you know, the main reasons that Chaco brought up, where the crowd wasn't there, and it's just you don't have the pressure of the crowd, the pressure of being away, the pressures of being even home. There's pressures of being at a home game too, but like that wasn't there. So I don't know. I feel like the bubble was a legitimate season, and people should just not shrug it off. I don't know what else to say. I just don't think people should shrug off the bubble. And I was hoping somebody would like fight me on the talk, but you know, everybody's so friendly here on the pod.
We all agree. We're a big family.
Yeah. But that's pretty much it. The bubble talk, no more asterisk. Next thing I want to talk about for fun, Joel Embiid has a Twitter account that he loves to troll on. He actually has, I think his header or his name on there is Joel Embiid. So he literally takes the troll in him and like goes all the way with it. So Miami game, shoot, what game was it? I don't even remember what game was it. I think it was game 5 where Miami was, or what game was it? I think it was game 5 when Miami got blown out, and he just tweeted, "Miami needs more help." Now, me and my brain saw that tweet different from anybody else tweeting a tweet. You know, like Stephen A can tweet out, "Miami needs more help." Okay, that's Stephen A's analysis. That's, you know, that's okay. Joel Embiid saying Miami needs more help is very different because Joel Embiid can actually be the literal help that he's tweeting about. So I think him tweeting that was an out, just like, I'm saying I want to be traded to the Miami Heat. I literally think that's what that tweet was. I don't know how you guys took that tweet, but we all know Joel Embiid and Jimmy Butler are great friends. We also know James Harden fucking sucks. So if you're Joel Embiid and you see what you used to have doing what he's doing right now, and you see what you currently have doing what he's doing right now, I just don't see why you would make that tweet other than to open the door of, I would love to play with Miami and Jimmy Butler. What do you think, Chaco or Matt? Take it away.
Go ahead, Chaco. I agree 100%, honestly.
For me, I don't view it as such with Joel. The dude's a troll. No matter what, he's going to get you thinking all the time.
I'm sorry. I made a big mistake. Pump just corrected me. He said Miami needs a star, not needs more help. That's a big difference.
Wasn't it needs second star, I thought?
No, he said Miami needs a star. That's a good point to make. He didn't say Miami needs another. I think did he say another star?
I could have sworn it was another star. He wasn't knocking at.
I think he did say another star.
Jimmy Butler at all.
No, I didn't say. You're right. He said another star.
Yeah, another star.
That's even more of my point, where he literally is another star that could move into that role. Like my point was, Stephen A can say another star. Okay, cool. Stephen A isn't a star, but Joel Embiid saying they need another star. Joel Embiid is a star. Like, it's different coming from a literal star saying they need another star. That's how I took it. But go ahead, Chalker. You were saying it's not that.
So I don't view it that way. I know.
I like that you're also disagreeing, by the way.
Giant troll.
Yeah,
so he's
of
going
course.
to try and get you thinking.
Oh yeah.
He's going to try and put this kind of stuff out there to
really
mess with people.
He talking about it. He did it. Good job, Joel.
He did. So I mean, with him, I just don't see him ever leaving Philly for the most part. That is his bread and butter. When he said it and how he said it, I think it is a shot at his own organization, saying, yo, like, we should never let this guy go. This dude's a star, which is, well, no, like, you should never have let Jimmy be the one to go. You should have let Ben go. Even in that playoffs, going back to it, they made a huge transition where regular season, Jimmy never had the ball. Postseason, Jimmy has the ball, and they're one miracle shot away from beating the Raptors and going on. Right.
Literally.
So, I mean, with that, I can see.
I mean, it's just fun. It's just fun, you know what I mean? I just thought it was like, yo, Pat Riley, I want to get out of here. I hate this guy, James Harden. I think that's what that was. That's how I took it. I mean, of course, he can't tweet that because that's tampering. But hey, Miami needs another star. Oh, by the way, I am a star. Look at that. I'm a star. I was second in MVP. I'm a star. You know, I think that's what that was. It was. I thought it was slick. It was a little slick way to be like, yo, I'm trying to lead this dude, James Harden. He kind of fucking sucks.
I'm still on the other side with that too. I think you need a full season of James, Joel, figure things out, and they got to get rid of Doc, which they're not doing.
They're not going to. He's in there. I think they already solidified that he's not going nowhere.
The Lakers didn't hire Doc. I actually don't think Doc's one of the best top 10 coaches. Sorry.
But one of the funniest
Kevin Garnett come.
Funniest tweets. The funniest tweets about the D Ham hire was the meme. You know the meme about Snoop Dogg got the allegation meme? It was like, yo, I beat the Doc Rivers allegations. Yo, that was so funny, man. I was so hoping the Lakers would make that stupid move and hiring Doc Rivers just so I can make fun of them, but you know, they made a good decision. Apparently, I don't know D Ham too much, but all the players seem to love him, so that's a good what's it called, show, I guess. That's a good sign. The players love him. But hopefully he does good, man.
With Derwin Ham, he was on the 2004 Pistons team
that
beat the Lakers, and
he guarded LeBron
all
James.
The titles we lost, that one hurts the most.
You see that picture where he was guarding LeBron James as a 19-year-old?
Yo, so,
great. It's kind of weird to have your coach now as like you were guarding him. Small world.
Small world. Also had to deal with that too. He played in the same time that LeBron played, so I mean, it's kind of what you're trying to get younger coaches now. Is the movement you're seeing? You're trying to get first-year coaches more so.
It seemed to be working, man. Jason Kidd. Steve Nash, not so much though. Steve Nash, not so much.
Well, I mean,
we'll not talk about Steve Nash. Now, see, we'll talk about Steve Nash because that's exactly the next topic. We only got like a minute left of the show. Just real quickly, man. KD reportedly has not talked to the front office of the Nets at all since elimination. Now, we talked about this in the pre-show. Nobody talks to their job off season. You know what I mean? Like, if you off, I know I'm off. I ain't hollering at my job. They call me, I go straight to voicemail. So that's me. I don't get paid millions of dollars a year, and also in the center of the organization. I'm not the center of my company, so don't call me is what I'm trying to say. But Kevin Durant, I feel like a hello, a text message like, yo, I'm still here working out, I'm gonna be back next, like some kind of something like, you know, we had a good year, tough, you know, we'll be back next year, you know, what's the plans? The reports are no conversation at all. Well, how does that make you feel, Chaco? Does that make you feel anything at all? Do you care? Does it matter? Is it are we, you know, blowing up something that's nothing? Did my internet just go out? My internet just went out. Fucking perfect timing. No, my internet went out. Can you hear me?
You're back now, yeah.
What did y'all last hear? I'm still recording, so.
It was only about 30 seconds.
Wait, I mean, what was the last thing y'all heard?
Just not talking. He's not in the building. You would think that he would check in or anything. Just saying, hey, I'm still here, still working out.
Oh yeah.
I don't even remember that point. So what did I say? I don't even remember.
You were just talking about.
Oh yeah. All right, we'll just redo it.
I got it.
So yeah.
Start over.
So yeah. So the thing. We're doing it. Fuck it, man. We're doing it live. Nah, alright, stream should be back up. Alright, so yeah, back to the KD. So yeah, KD has yet to talk to the front office at all since the end of their season, which ended abruptly. 4-0 sweep. Nobody saw that coming. I feel like, me personally, a conversation should have been had. Now, we're not saying it wasn't had. The report is saying it hasn't happened. So I'm just thinking, like, is that weird, Chaco? Are we over exaggerating? Are we just doing too much? You know, what do you think about that?
I think if you're talking older NBA, maybe even like 10 years ago, it wouldn't be that weird with the way NBA is now and the player movement. And let's be honest, if you're a superstar, you're a GM, part of your team. Like, you have a lot of say on who the coach is. You have a lot of say on the players that you're going to try and team up with and pull in.
Right.
So him not talking is a little odd, just because
a little teeny bit.
The whole thing after the Nets series was, the big conversation was, is Steve Nash going to be coach again or not? And he's still there, so that kind of resolved that. So the next question was, what are we going to do with Kyrie? Still don't know what you're going to do with Kyrie, and you don't even know if they're going to give him a max extension or not, because availability, you just never know.
Reports are saying it's not going to happen. That's another conversation too. Do you pay Kyrie or do you send him off? Like, you can't. I don't know what to do. I'm glad I don't work for the Nets.
If you want to keep KD and KD wants Kyrie, you give Kyrie the max. You can't get around that, just because
Yeah, I mean,
top 3
literally,
NBA.
you do whatever the fuck KD says. If KD says give him the max, you give him the max because you want KD to be happy. You're not going to be happy about it, but you do what you got to do.
I think there's a little to read into it with KD not talking to the front office, because with this day and age, it's weird.
Especially when he'll reply to like Joe Schmo 2689 on Twitter, but he won't hit up Steve Nash, his head coach. I just think that's a little strange. Matt, you got any inputs on KD dissing his whole organization?
Nothing new.
Nothing new. I mean, you're probably right.
Like nothing new, honestly.
I just think he's probably
going out calling out anyway.
I think he's probably just upset, man. I think he'll be alright. He's probably just upset his season ended that way. It was more dramatic than anything. Pump asked us in the chat, do you think KD stays if Kyrie doesn't? I think he has to stay this year. He's under contract. But next year, he's when he's up for re-signing. And if Kyrie leaves, I don't know, man. Honestly, I don't know. Why? If KD were to leave again, it turns into the conversation on what are you doing with your legacy? And he hates legacy talks, but you kind of have to have that talk sometimes, KD. Like, legacy talks matter. And if you don't win with the team that you had and the team that you have right now, you know, Ben, Kyrie, if it doesn't stay together, then it's all going to be like, what was the point? Why did you leave Golden State? What was the reason on you doing anything? Yeah, it's gonna look bad. It's gonna look bad when he looks back and retires and he only has those 2 rings. It's gonna suck, man, because he definitely should have won more. But yeah. Twitter, man. Twitter made him leave the Golden State. I mean, that's what everybody is saying. It sucks because literally, I don't know why he left Golden State. But here we are. But yeah, that's a show. That's a show. Congratulations, guys. We did it. Yay. Clap it up. Clap.